चलो
हो गया.
करें शुरू.
करे
हाँ कर
नहीं और किसी को टकारे करे मारनी है.
मेरा क्वेश्चन है विनीत से.
रुक जा.
तेरी शादी पे कौन सा गाना बजा था अभी?
फॉर्मूला 1 का थीम सॉन्ग.
बस ठीक है.
सो थीम सॉन्ग मतलब यहाँ पे इस तरह के लोग बैठे कि जिनको अपनी शादी पे फार्मूला 1 का थीम सॉन्ग बजवाना होता है.
So, starting with that. Welcome Menonverse. We are at episode 2 of the Funcast, the F1 podcast which we are having right now. So at the Menonverse we are trying to have different type of podcasts, not just sticking to Formula 1, although mainly we will be, but we would be having podcasts over traveling, we would be having podcasts and discussions over food blogging and vlogging as well. And let's see where this channel leads us to. Anyway, so this podcast is going to be purely on Formula 1, and maybe we might deviate a bit. It depends on my co-speakers, or as I would call them, my musketeers. So with that, I would like to welcome Raunaq, as you already know. In the last podcast she was there. And we have a new entrant, Vineet. So Vineet is a very close friend of mine, and actually a good friend of ours. And he has been interested in Formula 1. He has been interested in cricket. I mean, he is a cricket encyclopedia. We will be having cricket podcasts as well. And he's more than that, he is like a brother to me. So with that, hi Vineet, welcome. क्या हाल है?
Hello Siddharth, hello Raunaq.
Hi.
It was good. I'm good. I'm doing good, and thank you for such a different kind of introduction that I was expecting. But yeah, it's good to be here, and let's see how it goes.
Oh, Vineet is an engineer, so we never know. He might know a bit more of the technical side of Formula 1. You never know.
I certainly hope I do.
Yeah. So with that, we'll start. So, Vineet, how have you been, and what would you like to discuss? What are we discussing today?
So, as I'm a very new fan and I'm a very new follower to Formula 1, I would like to know something about how the Formula 1 history evolved and how the history evolved around Formula 1.
Okay.
And there might be, there might be some viewers who are starting new and they are new to the Formula 1 field. So, starting with that, my first question would be, can you give me a small brief about how F1 has been evolved over the years of time?
Okay, so Ronnie, would you like to start, or should I go on it?
Yeah, I would definitely like to start on this very interesting question raised by our very dear friend Vineet. And it is like a very curious and very informative, in fact, like to all the viewers in India. I believe that they should know that Formula has come a long way.
Yeah.
Like I guess it started in 1951 and
I think 50, if I'm not wrong.
1950, okay. Yeah, 1950 or 1951. Yeah. And Formula 1 has completed 70 years in this sport, and like it has evolved massively, and it has raised like a very huge fan base. In fact, around the globe and in a lot of countries, and definitely they would like to know that what path has Formula 1 covered while reaching to this point. And
okay, so what I would like to say about the origins of Formula 1 is Formula 1, as we know, has been around since 1950, if I'm not wrong, and we have had close to 71. Now we are in the 71st year of Formula 1 racing. We have had more than 1000 races. In fact, we celebrated the 1000th thousandth race at Mugello last year in 2020, and apart from all the teams, only Ferrari has been a part of Formula One since the very beginning. So Ferrari is the only team to have taken part in each and every season
Seriously?
of
Oh.
each and every season of Formula One, and without any doubt, they are obviously the most successful team in Formula One, having 16 constructor titles and, if I'm not wrong, I think almost the same amount of driver titles as well, with Michael being the most successful Formula One driver for Ferrari. But if you ask me, Ferrari being there in Formula One for the past 71 years should have won more titles. They should have been like something like winning around 20-25 titles at the least.
Yeah, I mean, even I was wondering on the same that if Ferrari has been with Formula One since it has been started, I believe they could have won a bit more races and a bit more championship, and they should have some more constructor championship in their tally. But yeah, F1, as far as I understand, is a very funny sport and it's a very risky sport.
Yeah.
And things can go upside or downside for any team in a matter of couple of races. So I'm not surprised actually by this number that F1 in the F1 world, Ferrari has not won that many constructor races given the amount of races which they have won.
Yeah, and yeah, so Formula One has evolved a lot since 1950s. There were races in which drivers didn't even have seat belts. They were wearing leather caps for helmets and just normal goggles, and there were no or very few safety regulations being followed, and it was pretty normal for a driver to die during a Formula One season. But with the rising amount of deaths and high injury rates in Formula One, suddenly there was a need for safety measures to be taken, and Formula One has over the years become the safest one of the safest motorsports in history. And I mean, of the recent years, the last fatality we had in Formula One was, if I'm not wrong, Jules Bianchi in 2017, I think, or 2016. I don't remember exactly. I think 2017, if I'm not wrong.
Are you referring to that incident where Roman Grosjean was crashed into the walls of one of the racing corners?
No. I am talking about fatality which happened on track.
Coming back to that, I was talking about the amount of safety which has been grown or evolved. Are you emphasizing on the fact that had the safety measures not been taken that much, there might be a different story on that crash?
Yeah, because 2018 the Halo was introduced, and everyone had various opinions on the Halo, and everyone was like, nah, this will ruin the look of the car. This will the essence of open cockpit driving is gone. This is not Formula One. But the Halo has been very, very important in playing a very high safety, very big role in safety in Formula One. The most recent examples being the crash which Roman had in Bahrain last year, in which the car was split in two, and then we also had a horrific crash between Bottas and Russell earlier on in 2021 at Imola.
Yeah.
And the most recent one being Max and Lewis at Monza. Max's car was on top of Lewis's car. So had there been no Halo, probably Lewis would have been crushed by Max's car. So yes, safety has become a very important part and a pillar of Formula One, and we are absolutely grateful that uh, the entertainment value has not gone down, and the racing is amazing, and the drivers are safe, because we want our favorite drivers, and even if they are not our favorite drivers, to be safe.
Yes, definitely. The Formula One has evolved a lot in terms of safety. If we compare it with like previous years, like immediate a few previous years, like Formula One racing have become more safer for drivers, and we should all appreciate that. In fact, rather than having a more exciting and a race full of action, we should be more concerned about driver safety because
I think the biggest shift in safety, the biggest step they took in safety, in terms of safety, was after Senna's crash in '94.
definitely, yeah, definitely.
So they started making changes to the tracks, they started making changes to the cars, started making changes to the equipment, safety equipment the drivers are wearing, be it the helmets, be it the Hans device, which reduces the whiplash effect on the drivers, the halo. So there are a lot of safety measures being taken in by Formula One. So that's pretty nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
Rightly said. I mean, safety and evolution of F1 has been hand in hand since interception. And adding that to that, I would like to know that I mean, there is saying that a particular sports makes a sportsman, but there are instances in many other sporting era and sporting history that a sport has been famous because of a sports person.
Hmm.
So what do you guys think a driver who has made F1 sports famous?
One driver.
Yeah. If you want to choose any one driver who has made F1 sport as a sports, it has
Schumacher.
made famous. Yeah. Schumacher.
Senna or Schumacher.
I would,
But I think it depends
I
on
would
the
go
era.
with definitely the era and the level of what do you say, this
Let's say in the
communication
past,
we had with the
let's
outside
say
world, since
I will
the
go.
inception of Formula One, since the time we started watching Formula One in India, I believe that Schumacher was more prominent driver. And
Yeah.
yes, if you want to say if Formula One had a face in India, and then I would definitely believe that most of the people would believe Schumacher to be the face of Formula One.
It has happened to me, and
let's just say that this is in India, so I know the Formula One community is a pretty tightly knit community, and they don't take BS. So this is purely we're talking about the mid and late 90s in India. So before that, we don't know. Maybe Senna was regarded as the face for Formula One.
Definitely
in India.
for the
maybe I don't know.
for the guys in India who know Formula One by heart, like us, they would definitely prefer Senna over, not over, but yeah, to
Almost
hold
at
a
the same level.
greater position in
In our
the
hearts.
rankings, in the hearts.
taking
Okay,
the,
that's a different topic for
taking the
another day.
funnier side of it, when I used to remember that when I was a kid and I used to read the sports section of the newspaper, the very two drivers which I have in my mind, which I knew in the early 90s, was Michael Schumacher, because I think so he was the best of his time, if not the greatest, and the other one was Narayan Karthikeyan, simply because I think so he was Indian.
But Narayan came into the scene in the late 2000s. I mean, I think 2009, 10 or something.
Maybe 8, 9.
8, 9, 10. I don't know when he debuted. But yeah, Narayan was known
Before
in
watching
India.
the F1, Siddharth, I mean, I started watching F1 in 2018. So before that, I had only two names in my mind. Either it was Schumacher or it was Narayan Karthikeyan.
Oh.
Yeah.
But now you know a lot more.
But now I would say, I would not say a lot more, but yes,
Yeah,
But
way
now,
more than what you were knowing
now I
at
can
that
say
point of
that I
time.
have started to enjoy the sport rather than trying to understand it, because when I understood that how the F1 sports work, uh, I was very fascinated, and I was like, this is the pinnacle of engineering.
It's like an art, like in sports industry altogether.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like a perfectly choreographed dance of like a very beautiful ballet dancer or maybe a very beautiful ice skater, and F1 is just like that. It's an art. Like
yeah.
every single thing that happens on track is very well choreographed. Like
Well,
the pit stops,
yeah,
the
Yeah.
drivers driving their car
Red
completely.
Bull.
to
Red
the
Bull,
like
Red Bull.
extreme extent. So, yeah,
Red
we
Bull,
all
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, true, true. It's very true. So, I think that I would like to know that who do you think is the best driver of the current era? I mean, from the past 10 or 15 years. Who would you think, who would you guys rate as that he's the best in the past 15 years?
You can't ask that because that is a very controversial topic. People have different opinions. Some would regard Alonso, some would regard Seb, some would
Mahavir
regard.
Raghunathan.
He wasn't in Formula One. Some would regard Lewis,
The greatest,
and probably few might even regard Kimi or Rosberg. But
I think so. You have named all the world champions for the past
except for yeah,
15-20 years.
yeah, almost. Yeah, but you can't put a pen because in the last 10 years, only three people have won the title: Seb, Lewis, and Nico. So, can you decide between Seb, Lewis, and Nico? Maybe not. Lewis
Okay, let's
fans, Lewis fans
widen
will
the
say-
gap. Let's take it to past 20 years.
You still can't because it completely changes. And if you think about different regulations, different type of cars, different type of point system we used to have, so it completely flips on its head. And the greatest drivers of their eras, maybe you can do it, but again, it's a very controversial thing. I would say that of the turbo hybrid era, which started in 2014, um, without any doubt, well, Lewis, because he has dominated like anything,
Yeah,
and
I've seen that.
and uh, only one person has been able to dethrone him. That was Nico. But I think turbo hybrid era Lewis, and a very close second comes Seb, and
Mm-hmm.
before that it was Seb dominated for 4 years. So
Yeah.
and then there was Button, and then the champions changed every year since 2006. 6 Alonso was there, 7 Kimi was there, 8 Lewis was there, and 9 Button was there, and 10 then we had Seb. So that was pretty exciting. So you can't put a pin on who was regarded as the best, but I think prior to 2010 it is very close between Michael and Alonso, but I would still favor Michael more because, well, 5 titles in a row. And before that, well, then it becomes a different era. So
Yeah.
then we have
Yeah.
Michael, then we have Senna, then we have Prost, then we have Lauda, we have so many of them. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, Sid. Even I agree to the fact that, after listening to you, I am agreeing to the fact that we can't compare drivers in the past 15-20 years. But yes, style is something which lasts forever. So, who can be the most stylish driver ever?
Hunt. James
Oh.
Hunt. James Hunt. He had this persona, he had this thing about him. He was a playboy. I mean, we have all seen Rush, and Chris Hemsworth has played the character perfectly. And Hunt is amazing. I mean, there was an interview of Hunt in which I think he was asked by the reporter that how did you manage to win this race, or how did you manage to beat your opponents? And his response was big balls. Big balls. That was his response.
You know what?
What about you, Ronnie? What do you think?
Yeah, I believe that Lewis can be termed as the most stylish driver on the grid right now. I guess most of us will agree on this thing,
Even I'll agree.
because everyone would agree that he's a bit flamboyant on the weekends, and
Yeah, he has
with
those-
his gears and
with
his
his-
attire.
Yeah,
he-
exactly.
Stylish t-shirts.
stylish t-shirts and his attire, like attire in entirety. So yeah, I guess Lewis is the most stylish driver F1 has ever seen, in my opinion.
Yeah, no doubt.
And definitely Hunt was a very special driver on field, because
Very flamboyant.
very flamboyant. Yeah.
Yeah. Interestingly, if you are talking about James Hunt, I would like to throw a light that the movie Rush, based on Niki Lauda and James Hunt, that was my first. I mean, the first time I was trying to understand how an F1 car works and how the F1 sports work. So yeah, that movie is very close to my heart, and I was fortunate enough to watch it in the hall, thanks to one of my friends' recommendation.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Huh. So, what else? What have you been up to?
Recently, I'm just trying to understand how the future stakes in the championship is hanging in the balance right now between Mercedes and Red Bull. And yeah, juggling between my jobs and trying to follow each and every insight and each and every news about F1 is what I'm doing now.
Who do you think will win?
I'll be very blunt and I'll be very honest that according to me and the type of and the style of the type of performance which Mercedes has shown in the last two races, I think so Mercedes has a slight edge over Red Bull. And if they
constructors,
to win the constructor as well as the title championship.
you're saying that Lewis will win his 8th.
That's what I said right now. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Ronnie?
I mean, there is some weight to what Vineet just said. Definitely, that's very true. That Mercedes are at their very peak this season at this point of championship.
The momentum has shifted.
The momentum has shifted drastically, but Red Bull, in some other sense, is also related to fighting spirit, and you never know,
They are
they might
hungry.
bounce back they might have a very good comeback. Now they already had a very good comeback. Now
They are hungry.
they are hungry for a title, and I believe that it is going to be very tough contention this time.
We want Red Bull to win, not because we hate Lewis or we hate Mercedes. We want a change. We want that the turbo hybrid era ends with not a Mercedes winning, but with a Red Bull winning.
Yeah, definitely, but
Because that is how the previous era ended.
yeah, but at the end of the day, we all know that only the deserving is going to win
Yep.
the title. So, be it Red Bull or Mercedes, the deserving will win the championship.
Correct. The fastest driver will.
Fastest driver.
See, it's not like that I don't want Red Bull to be the constructor as
Yeah,
well
you're
as the
a
drivers' championship. But having said that, for the past couple of races, the momentum has shifted. Mercedes, I know that there are many Lewis haters around in this.
Hey, let's not say haters. Yeah, come on.
We will not support.
We do not support
Lewis
any
haters and-
haters.
Adding to that, I would like to know. That's why I was bringing this point that why Lewis is being so hated around the F1 community. Why?
Okay, so
I don't think he's hated. there might be people who think otherwise, but
Yeah, because
I would just say that Seb was also disliked. Hate is a strong word.
Okay.
Seb was also disliked. There were moments when Seb was booed on the podium when he was winning with Red Bull. But now everyone loves Seb. It's probably biasness because you get people get bored watching one driver win again and again and again and again and again. So I think that is one reason why, but that's not acceptable. That is very wrong. Uh, you should not hate a driver for any reason unless he or she has done something horribly wrong, like I don't know, something unspoken for. So hate is a very wrong term which should not be used, and especially for any driver. And well, at the end of the day, they are human beings as well. So would you like if someone says that I hate you? No, you wouldn't. So I don't think. Yeah, but coming back to your question, slightly modifying it, there are a few people who do not like Lewis Hamilton. They must have their own reasons. Um, well, they are open to their opinions. I have no issues in that. But it probably just stems into the fact that there is slight bit of jealousy that Lewis is the one who is so successful, winning all the time, winning all the races, winning all the championships. He is equal with Michael Schumacher, which probably a majority of the people did not want, especially Schumi fans. So I think that is why there is a slight what is it called, negative vibe with some people regarding Lewis. But overall, he is a good. Look, I am no Lewis fan. I'll admit that. I mean, he's not my favorite, but I love Seb. But I think it's just the fact that Lewis is bold, Lewis is successful, Lewis is winning. He has proved everything, and some people can't digest that.
yes, in fact, I will agree with what Siddharth just said, and I would like to add a few points of my own in this. And what I believe is that this thing toward Lewis is just a matter of perception of two different communities supporting Max and the one supporting Lewis. Maybe we hear more from the community supporting Max. They want Max to win, and maybe they criticize, like, or maybe they say whatever, like bad things to Lewis. But it is just a matter of perception between two communities. And but that being apart, I don't think anyone can deny that Lewis is not a good driver. Like
He has 7 titles.
he has 7 titles. Like 7 titles is no joke in Formula One. Like, and he might as well be getting his 8th this season. So Lewis by no means is a poor driver
Okay.
or someone.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah, people might be hating him for hating or disliking him or whatever for this sole reason. Maybe they are bored or something like that. But I don't think
He deserves it.
he deserves it. He deserves.
No one deserves it.
None of the driver or the great deserve this thing. So,
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect given to Lewis Hamilton when I said that why he's being hated. So let's do some fast question round where I have a situation. I have been following F1 for some time, and I have a very interesting situation that, let's suppose there is a situation in which there is a 100-kilometer long sprint. All the drivers have the equal type of car or equal set of cars, and there are some drivers who are competing. Who are the top 3 according to you will finish?
So just to clarify on that question, it's a racetrack, right?
It's a racetrack.
It's a racetrack. Let's example.
Let's say Australia.
Australia.
Let's say Australia.
It's a sprint race.
It's a sprint race.
And everyone has equal cars. So let's say everyone is in a Haas.
Yeah, you can say that.
Everyone,
Yes.
all 20 drivers are in a...
They're not 20 drivers. I mean, I have some set of my own drivers list which are there from different eras.
Okay.
So would you like to share that?
Yes. So starting from that, so the first one is Ayrton Senna. Second one, Michael Schumacher. Third one will be Alonso.
Okay.
Fourth one will be Hamilton, of course. Fifth one will be Vettel. And probably you can add Niki Lauda. So what do you think, guys?
Senna, Michael, Alonso, Hamilton, Seb, and Nicky.
Yes.
Right?
You see that this is a very exciting list. In fact, all are world champion, Formula One world champions, and it is very difficult to determine at this point who will be best of this lot.
Let's make a wild guess, Tony. Let's take a very wild guess.
Okay, let's say
There is one thing called crossing the limits. You don't cross limits with these legends. Okay.
Yep.
So
Okay,
I mean,
let's say all of them are not in Formula One cars. Let's say all of them are in...
why not in Formula One cars? I mean, they are the world champions of their own part of their own time. So we would like to hear.
Okay, let's say that all of them are in 1960s Formula One cars.
Okay.
Because none of them have driven that in their career.
Yeah,
Okay.
true.
Okay, let's make it an equal playing
Fair
field.
enough.
Okay, so 1960s Formula One cars. Let's say they were in Jim Clark's Lotus. Championship winning Lotus, and Senna, Schumi, Alonso, Hamilton, Seb, and Nicky. Name them in the finishing order in the same cars.
Same cars.
Across around let's say Monza. Monza is a historic track where all of them have driven, and a sprint race, 100 kilometers.
Okay, so I guess I'm starting with this ranking system of these legends, and
By the way, before we do that, just a word of advice. This is just for fun, and please do not get mad in the comments. And if you have any anger directed, I will give you Vineet's personal phone number and email ID.
Right, that will do.
And you can vent out there. It will be in the description. Don't worry.
okay.
So starting with that
Tough
champion.
one.
Yep, very tough.
Okay, just by going with driver instinct.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not taking into other factors like statistics and all. I'm purely going by driver's instinct, and I believe Senna
Okay.
will be the first one to will win
Okay.
that sprint, and after Senna, I believe Schumacher, and after Schumacher, I believe it's a very tough call between Seb and Lauda. Actually, I would go with Lauda because he was a great driver, and he was definitely a great driver. He won 4 constructors, four world titles.
3 if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, 3.
And Lauda won 3.
And I think so
Prost
when he
won
was
four.
and I think so when he was the advisory for Mercedes, they have some
Lauda won 3,
championship as
so
well.
I
Yes.
would go with P3. Lauda would have finished P3, thereafter Seb, and then Hamilton.
And Alonso P4. 5.
Yeah, and Alonso P5.
Okay, so for me it would be
Interesting.
So for me it would be Senna, Michael, uh, Seb, Nicky, Alonso, and Hamilton. That would be my final. And what about you, Vineet?
I haven't thought about it, but I'm just giving a straight answer. The amount of races which I have seen, I think it will be Senna first row, and then I would go for Nicky, and then I'll go for Hamilton. I'm sorry, Senna, Lauda, Alonso, Schumacher, Seb, and Hamilton.
Okay, so guys, let us know in the comments what you would like or what your thoughts are on this, and it's going to be interesting. Let's see what happens.
And we love Hamilton. We don't dislike Hamilton.
Yeah. So with that, I think we should bring this podcast to an end.
It was good fun.
It was good fun.
Good fun.
So let's see you in the next one. So we'll have more podcasts coming your way. So stay tuned in. Bye bye.